All right, welcome friends. Today we are going to find out how we can get really cost-effective leads by running Facebook ads in KW Command. So if you've ever thought about running a Facebook ad, but you didn't quite know where to start, you're in the right spot. So welcome, and I'm glad that you're here. If you have any questions along the way, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask, raise your digital hand, pop it in the chat, whatever you feel comfortable doing to ask me a question, and I will be happy to answer it. So to get started, we are going to go into Command. So we are going to navigate over to agent.kw.com, and we are going to log in with our Keller Williams credentials. So the first thing that we need to consider before we run a Facebook ad is follow-up. So some of these ads can come in with anywhere upwards of 30 or 40 leads, and some of them are going to be now leads. I think the number for that is somewhere between like 1 out of 50 of the leads that come in are like, yes, I want to buy a house, or yes, I want to sell my house right now. And a lot of these leads are going to be tomorrow leads, or in other words, they're going to require some follow-up. So when you think about internet leads, they're all pretty much the same wherever you get them from. You're going to get hopefully their name, probably one piece at least of contact information, and maybe one piece of information like what did they click on, what were they looking for, that kind of thing. And internet leads are just a little bit funny. You have to reach out to them quite a bit. So 36 touches a year for our sphere of influence to get a piece of business out of them. And with internet leads, very similar. You have to have really good follow-up with a lot more frequency put into a smaller amount of time. So the first thing that you want to consider before you run a Facebook ad is a smart plan that can make your life a whole lot easier. So the first thing I'm going to do before we go into the ads is pop into Smart Plan. So our fourth applet over on the left-hand side of Command, we're going to pop in there. If you have your own Facebook follow-up Smart Plan, fantastic, kudos, congratulations to you. If you do not, once you get into Smart Plans, I want you to come up here and click on the library. There are probably thousands of Facebook follow-up Smart Plans now. So you can even just search Facebook and you'll see new Facebook lead follow-up, Facebook paid ad lead follow-up, call, Facebook lead follow-up, text for Facebook lead follow-up, right? So lots of people have shared what they have found to work for them when doing follow-up with Facebook. So it looks like Brian has broken his up into 2 smart plans. So he's got one that's calls, and he's got one that's text-based, and then he's got one that's email-based, right? So there are a ton of them out there. Marty Miller's is super popular. I've culled through these and looked at them myself and found bits and pieces of each one that I like. So you're also welcome to search for your market center number, whether that's Winston-Salem number 994 or KW1 in Greensboro number 509. And any smart plans that I have published are going to pop up here. So you will see that I too have a Facebook follow-up smart plan right here. Okay, so let's look at the steps. First step is that we're going to call them, right? I mean, speed to lead. If they click on your ad and it's within reasonable hours, don't call somebody at 11 o'clock at night when they might be scrolling on Facebook. But if it's within reasonable hours, give them a call. I even popped a script in here that I got from someone else. R&D, rip off and duplicate. It's the KWA within the family, of course. So it's even got a script in there. It's going to task you and say, call lead name at this phone number, and here's your script. That's going to be the task that you get. Simultaneously, in case this is at 11 o'clock at night where we do not want to call this person, it's going to send them an email, right? So pay really close attention when you're getting someone else's smart plan to any actions that you have to take. I did my best in my smart plan to highlight things in red text that you're going to need to edit. So you'll see in this email, I saw you were checking on the home we posted on Facebook. Obviously, if you didn't post a home, change that out for what you did post. Are you looking to buy a home, or are you just browsing, right? And as you make your way on through, you'll see it says, if you're like me, you may have forgotten which home you clicked on. Here is the link to the home. So you need to insert a link to that home on your website there. So make sure that if you get a smart plan from the library, that you look through that smart plan and make any necessary edits. But the really cool thing about it, say I ran this ad for a home here in Old Sherwood Forest in the 27104 zip code. So I had some specifics to that property, right? Here's what's happening in Old Sherwood Forest, or a search that was based on something around 27104 zip code. You can just copy the smart plan. If next week you decide to run an ad over in 27106, you can just copy the ad, or the smart plan, my apologies, and edit out that handful of information, and then you can attach it to your new Facebook ad. So even if you're not going to use a smart plan for follow-up, determine prior to running the ad how you're going to follow up, or it's just going to be a waste of your money if you're not going to do that. So does anybody have any questions on follow-up with Facebook ads? It's super important. You see, this goes on for 31 days. And I'm not going to lie, it's intense. Some people call it like 30 days of pain or something like that, because it's intense. So it's an email, it's a delay, a text, a 2-day delay, another email, a delay, a phone call, a delay, email, like it goes on. And the intention of that is maybe they clicked on it because they were curious, but they don't have financing in place yet. Maybe they clicked on it and they were looking at it for their grown son, right? Or something to that effect. It doesn't mean that they will never speak to you. It just means maybe they won't speak to you right now. So as you progress through this smart plan, it will task you to make sure that you add a neighborhood to the contact. So say I ran this ad in Old Sherwood Forest. If by this point in time, this contact has not responded to me, I'm going to go into their contact and add Old Sherwood Forest, because obviously they had some interest in it, to their contact card, because then it's going to delay for a day and it's going to link them automatically to the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. So from that day moving forward, every 2 weeks, they are going to get an email from you. And that is how you can really keep yourself top of mind with these leads, right? So it just keeps it going progressively. Maybe they won't be ready to buy for 6 months, but if you're the agent that keeps reaching out to them, you're probably going to be the one that they call, right? So really important to have your follow-up in place. Vice versa. If they start talking to you as soon as you call them, they answer the phone and you get into a conversation, take them off of the smart plan. You don't want to keep harassing them after you've already gotten into a conversation with them, right? So any questions before we move away from this and into the ads? Everybody good? Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so we're now going to move down to campaigns, which is our little megaphone getting out our message, right? When we get here, we have lots of stuff happening in campaigns, and we're going to want to focus on paid ads today. So if you want to run a paid ad in Facebook, number one, you have to have a Facebook business page set up. If you have not yet gone into your personal Facebook account and set up a business page for your real estate business, that is step one. That's the first thing that you need to do. Step two is that you will need to attach the Facebook account to command. So we're going to look at that really quickly. You're going to click in the upper right corner of your command window and click on settings. There are going to be two places to connect Facebook. One is for free social posting, another class, right? Right here, Facebook post scheduling. So you'll want to connect your business page here. And then a little bit further down, you will see a second connection for the Facebook Ads Manager. So in order to run an ad, you will have to have both of those connections made. Any questions on that before we move forward? Checking the chat. Okay, good deal. All right, so back to campaigns. I've had a lot of people say, well, everybody says to run a Facebook ad on a listing and I don't have a listing. Okay, that's okay. Yes, ads on single listings do yield the most leads for the lowest cost. So if you have a listing, run a Facebook ad on it, right? If you do not have a listing, ask. There are a lot of agents in both market centers that are happy to let you run an ad on their listing, okay? So if you don't want to ask agents, ask me or ask in the private Facebook group for your specific office, okay? If you want to do a single listing ad, okay? So we're also going to talk after we look at a single listing ad about some other ideas that we can use, okay? So for a single listing ad, super simple. Does anybody in the room have a current listing that they can share? If not, I'll pop into MLS and find one. Okay, hop on over to MLS. We'll give a shout out to whichever agent. Throwing no shade here, Greensboro, but my license is hung in Winston-Salem. Therefore, we will be using a Winston-Salem office listing. We'll look in my office active listings and find something like, let me look at this one. I'll find us a good one here. That's beautiful. We'll use this. Who says this? James Redden Jr. Great listing. All right. So 3339 Serenity Ridge Lane in Tobaccoville. That's what we're going to use. Okay. All right. So we're going to come into campaigns. We're going to click create campaign in the upper right corner, and we're going to choose social ad paid. Same steps no matter what kind of ad you're running. Okay. We always want to give it a name that we will recognize. And what are we doing with this ad? Well, in this one specifically, we're advertising a listing. Okay. Now we get to choose where our campaign is going to run. We can run our ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Okay. You have to have a business account with your credit card stored in it for each one. From what I've gathered, Facebook, you're getting the most leads. Instagram, you're getting the most impressions, good for building your brand recognition. And I haven't heard a whole lot of people running on Twitter. So take that as what you will. I don't have Twitter connected here. But for today's purposes, we're just going to run on Facebook. Okay. I'm going to click create campaign. All right. So now that we're here, it's automatically going to let us search for a listing if we're running a specific listing ad. Right now, it's defaulting to only my listings. I want to change that to show all listings because I don't have a listing. I need to borrow someone else's, and I am borrowing Mr. James Redden's. So I'm going to search for this property and click search. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead and select this listing. A lot of the work's getting done for me here. Brought over the picture from the MLS. Looks beautiful. We're seeing our preview over on the right-hand side. It brought in some copy from the MLS listing. Notice you only get 250 characters right here. And this is the text up here at the top on the ad preview. So you might want to double check it and say, okay, show stopping home situated exclusive Speed Meadows. Da, 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 looks good, looks good. Main level suite is extensive, featuring French doors leading to the terrace. End. Right? So if it cuts it off mid-sentence, you might want to reword what you're posting there. Okay? Any questions on that? Good? All right, so headline. I like very simple stuff, and I don't like to give away the whole meal. I like to just give a snack. Welcome home. Description, try this. You could be coming home to this. Why do they say to try that? Because they have tested it and it has worked. So if I like this, I can go ahead and click use suggestion. If I'm like, I don't know, not a fan, I can click shuffle, schedule a private tour with me today. Maybe I like that one. I can now click use suggestion. So it's going to say, welcome home, schedule a private tour with me today. Got a little blurb about the listing up here, got the beautiful front image. That pretty much takes care of our text, and we are going to click save. Got that green check mark there. That's what we're looking for all the way down. Okay. So under media, currently I'm only using one photo, but I can configure my media. I could add additional photos. It's just pulling in your MLS listing photos, right? Maybe I want to highlight the kitchen. Maybe I want to highlight the beautiful stairwell, whatever that may be, the lot in the back, this rear exterior. Then I could pick multiple photos. If I have a video, if I have like a virtual tour, I could upload that video here as well. Okay. Videos have tested pretty well. So have interior images. Okay. Kitchens specifically. Any questions on this? Pretty good. It's already got my Market Center logo pulling in for my profile. And I personally always like to include my ownership statement, which says each office is independently owned and operated. And so I can just click save. Okay. Facebook settings. This is where we're getting down into the nitty gritty here. Okay. It's my account, my Facebook account. I have multiple business pages. We can only post a paid ad to one business page. So if you're running with multiples like I am, you have to select which one you want to use as the main page. And now for the destination. It says recommended here for a reason. Use the Facebook lead generation form. If you ever ran a Facebook ad and it's getting tons of impressions and you're not getting any leads, the chances are that you click site or landing page instead of the recommended Facebook lead generation form. So just make sure that that's the one that you're using. Any questions? Pretty good. Button. Learn more, sign up, apply now. Make sure that whatever your message is, that you're reiterating that throughout your ad. So what I'm offering is for them to learn more about this property. So the learn more button is appropriate in this case. Okay. So now we have to give them a URL. We have to give them a place to land. So if you're looking at the ad over on the right, if they click that button that says learn more, it's automatically capturing their information. That's what that Facebook lead generation form, which is recommended, is providing to you. However, once they click that button, it is going to redirect them to whatever website URL that you put in right here. Okay, so you have two options, at least through KW, that you can use. You can go on over to your own website. Okay. You can search for that property by the address. Let this load. My internet's going to take its sweet time because I have 5 million things open right now. I had no doubt. Let me try that again. Come on. My apologies, y'all. I guess I'm going to have to close all this other stuff. Hold on. Let me get all this closed. So it's just not wanting to search for me. Refresh. There we go. There we go. It just took it a minute to catch up. It's Tuesday. We understand. All right. So option one, I looked up the property on my website. This is a beautiful page dedicated to this one property. They can flip through and see the houses. They can see the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, the price. They can ask me a question, schedule a tour with me, get a Keller mortgage or Keller covered estimate, see property descriptions, see some stuff about the area. What's the average days on market in this area? What do the locals say about this area? They can do some commute times, look at nearby schools, upcoming open houses, and even get a mortgage estimate from the calculator right here. Okay, so this would be a great place for them to learn more, which is what we told them they could do if they clicked on the button. So I can copy this URL, come back to a little Facebook ad here, and paste that right into the box. So once they click on that Learn More button, boom, it's going to take them to that specific property page on my website. Okay. You could also choose a landing page. I recommend choosing a landing page if you're running multiple ads simultaneously. Then choosing a landing page can sometimes be a good idea. So that means, of course, that you would need to build a landing page in order to use a landing page. So does anybody have any questions on this section of the Facebook settings piece? Everybody feeling good? I don't see anything in the chat. All right. Moving a little further down, we're going to look at our audience. Okay. So right now, we are running this ad within a 20-mile radius of Tobaccoville. Okay. It's defaulting to a 20-mile radius around your address of your single listing that you're running this ad for. Okay. We might want to change that. In order to do that, we're going to click this Use Custom Settings button. Okay. And we can target a custom audience this way. So maybe we want to keep it closer to Tobaccoville. We can go down to 15 miles around Tobaccoville. Maybe when we want to go further, right? We want to extend our reach further, then we can do that, right? Looking for a quiet and peaceful home. Maybe it's somebody that lives out in a city, then you could increase that radius if you wanted to. Okay. And it depends. If it was in Tobaccoville, I might go a little bit further than 15 miles. When I'm usually running something in the heart of the city, like of Winston-Salem, I usually stick with 15. That is as low as you can go. Okay. We can also add interest. So for interest, there are all different schools of thought on this. Some people like to run it with no interest selected. Some people like to pick something that rhymes with pillow, because if that consumer's habits show that they hang out looking at something that rhymes with pillow a lot, Facebook knows it. So we can use that one. And we could also use realtor.com. Again, if they hang out there quite a bit, Facebook will know that as well. And I can click save. I can add those two things. Depending on where your home is, this is a pretty nice house. You could add luxury automobiles, luxury real estate. This is out in Tobaccoville, so maybe you want to add, something else about that, like rural communities, farming, depending upon where your listing is, right? So you can look through, there are lots of different interests you can add. Some people like to do A/B testing with their Facebook ads, so they'll run one with no parameters at all for $15, and then they will run another one at the same time, okay, with adding some expert targeting, and they will see which one is getting the most hits Once they establish that, they'll cancel the one getting less hits and push more money into the one that's getting more hits. So A/B testing is a great thing that you can do here. So any questions on this section? We are currently under the Facebook settings section. Everybody good? Awesome. We're going to click save. And now we're going to come down to lead settings. So this is the newest selection in running a Facebook ad. Okay. We can now automatically tag the leads that come in. So we can drop down right here. If we don't already have a tag set up, I've set up several 4 different Facebook ads. So like Facebook ad 123 Main Street, Facebook ad for a specific area, right? Whatever it is. So this time I could say, you know, Facebook ad for 333 Serenity Ridge Lane. Facebook ad 3339 Serenity Ridge. So that I know which ad these folks came in off. I can create a new tag, give it a color, and click add. So now any lead that comes in is going to automatically be tagged with that tag. So I can sort, filter, all the things that I need to do. Questions about tagging? Cool. Next, I can automatically assign them to a smart plan. That means as soon as that lead hits my inbox, we looked at that smart plan, it's going to task me to call them first. Simultaneously, it's going to send them that email that we looked at the beginning. And then it's going to delay for a day, and then it's going to move forward with that 31-day smart plan. Okay. So that's really great that we always ask for that, and now we finally have it. So you just need to find your Facebook follow-up smart plan that you made and grab it. And then click save. So now when the leads come in, they're automatically going to be tagged. They're automatically going to be put on your smart plan. Questions on lead settings. One tip I will give you on this, if you have a trigger in your smart plan for a tag, in other words, if somebody gets tagged with this tag, put them on this smart plan, then don't select the smart plan here. Don't double up. It's either one or the other. Okay. So I just don't want to cause any confusion for you guys there. Just pick one or the other. And then we're going to click save. I usually like to run my ads for 10 days. They recommend $1 per channel per day. So if you're running this on Facebook and Instagram for 10 days, $20, right? I usually run mine just on Facebook, and I usually do $25. If I see that it's getting a lot of action, I might increase that number. If I run an ad that is a honey hole and I'm getting a whole lot of leads off of it, run it again. Maybe run it for $50 the next time. Because if you think right now, both of our market centers, or both of the market centers that I am a part of, our average price point has really increased. So if you're thinking about, I think it's about $240-ish for each office times 0.03, $7,320 commission gross, right? I'm happy to run $50 ads to get $7,320 towards my gross commission income. I don't know about you guys, right? So keep that in mind when you're like, oh, I don't want to spend this money. Now, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination telling you guys to overspend. $25 is plenty to get started. $10 is plenty to get started. If you just want to stick your toe in the shallow end, run it for 10 bucks, see what happens. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? You can take it down to $10. If you're going to take it down to $10, you're doing what they recommend, $1 per channel per day. Right? You could even shorten the duration if you wanted to. Keep in mind, it takes about 24 hours, maybe a little less, for Facebook to approve these ads. So if you're running it for an open house on Sunday, make sure that you're starting it with ample time to give yourself time for exposure, and that you set that duration right, because it's more than likely not going to run today. It will probably start tomorrow. Okay, questions on that? Anything? Awesome. So there we go. That's what it takes to run that ad. You would publish that campaign. If you've never entered your credit card information, you would be prompt to do so at this point. Okay. And your ad would take off. So we're first going to see what happens after we run an ad. Then we're going to talk about some other ideas for if you don't have a listing and you don't want to ask somebody for a listing, some other really great ad ideas that have been floating around that people have had huge success with. Any questions before I come out of this tab on the actual running part? That part's pretty easy and straightforward. Cool. All right. So I'm just going to save this as a draft. All right. So I do not actively sell anymore. However, I did run an ad just to test it out for people that would be interested in the Keller Williams School of Real Estate. If you haven't heard about it lately, there's a link to it on my website that I made for you guys. Check that out. If you have friends, family, neighbors, previous coworkers that are interested in getting their real estate license, now is a really cool time to do that, since they can get through pre-licensing self-paced for free, right, online. Really, really cool. But that is the most recent ad that I ran, and you can see I got 18 leads, $1.39 per lead. And that's about the same number that you're going to see for your home ads. I've seen some even lower. It's crazy, the low cost of these leads, y'all. Okay. So we're just using this ad as an example. I got 1,547 impressions, and that's great. And what really matters to me is these leads. Okay. So if I click on the leads, it's going to take me straight into a set of contacts that came in off of this Facebook ad. They were automatically tagged with K-Score Facebook ad, a tag that I made, and they were automatically put onto a smart plan. And several of these people have already gone forward with starting their career in real estate, which is really, really cool. But you'll see they automatically came into command. They automatically got put on that smart plan. It tracked everything that happened with them within their contact card. I will show you one of the contact cards so you can see what it looks like. This was automatically created for me. And this was created prior to the command app. So the command app has now made all of this even easier. So there you go. There's the trail of texts, emails, and everything that went out, and her responses, which was really cool. Lead source is a Facebook ad lead. At the time I got dinged on Kelly, you would now get dinged on the command app that you got a new lead. They're already on that smart plan. You can go straight into your command app and call them, or send them an email, or send them a text, whatever you need to do straight from the command app, which is really, really cool. So any questions about what happens with the leads when they come in? Everybody good? You guys are a quiet bunch today. You're either really smart or you're just not asking questions. We'll see what's happening. All right, good deal. So that's what's going to happen with our leads. Now, let's move into some other ideas for ads that we can run that aren't listing specific. If you've never attended one of my classes before where I talk about hacking your website, that is what we are going to do. So RKW websites give us a lot of stuff that we can run Facebook ads on, which is really, really cool. And I'm looking for my notes. I think I can do it pretty much from memory. So we'll just have to go without them. That's okay. I'm going to go to my website. You guys all have your own website. I'm heading over to mine, and that's what you want to do. Okay. So from here, right? Let's think about some other ads that we can run. I can pin my current location. Okay. Again, I said I'm in Old Sherwood Forest, so the command website knows that. Showing me some open, look at all these open houses that are popping up. Coming soons and open houses. Coming soon listings in 27104. That's an idea for an ad. Open houses this weekend in Winston-Salem. That's an ad that you can run. They don't have to be your listings. You are just sharing with people who may be interested in looking at homes, which houses are open this weekend, right? Let's think about another one. I'm a 27104 girl, lived there for most of my life, one end or the other of that zip code. So what if I just search for 27104? I'm now looking at all of the listings that are for sale in the 27104 zip code. Okay. I could also search for Winston-Salem as a whole. You can do this with your own city. Let's search for Winston-Salem. It's going to give me the outline of my city and show me all the listings. Okay. There's an ad. Homes for sale in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Open houses this Sunday in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. If I click this more button and scroll down to some of these filters, I can look at open houses only, turn it on. That changed that map view there, didn't it? Only 4 listings so far are open this weekend. So this could be my ad. Open houses this weekend, right? You turn that off. How about another one? Recently reduced homes in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I have that price reduced in the last 7 days button. Okay. All the same steps to run this ad, except I need a picture because I didn't have one, right? With my listing, I had a front exterior photo. So one thing that you can do, no matter what computer you have, you can take a screenshot of this map. I'll just open it up. I'll have to cut it because it's got 2 screens in this screenshot. Bear with me one sec. All right, so here is that image. I'm just going to go down and cut this into a nice, neat square because squares are what show up really well on those ads. I'll crop out all the extraneous stuff and save this picture right here. So there's the picture that I can use. Recently reduced homes in Winston-Salem. Done. There's my picture. I would take all the same steps. I would go into my campaigns and click create campaign right here in the upper corner, do my social ad paid. This time it would be recently reduced in Winston-Salem. I am trying to attract buyers 100%. That's what you're doing with this ad. I'm going to run it on Facebook just like I did my other one and create campaign. Okay. This time I'm not connecting a listing, and it knew that when I did not select that I was advertising a listing. So it didn't give me that pop-up to pick a listing. Main copy. Check out these recently price improved homes in Winston-Salem, NC. Headline, recently reduced homes in Winston-Salem. Oops. Too long. Recently reduced. Short, sweet, and simple and to the point is the all right. So recently reduced there. Check out these recently reduced Winston-Salem homes. You can even see, or including the amount of reduction. People love that because we all know we've had listings. What do? Reduce them by $100, push it up to the top of the search engine, right? Well, you can get caught for that on here. Under 20,000, 15,000, 10,000, 36,000, 17,000, right? So you can actually see the amount of reduction on that site, and people love that. So when we get down here to save this and go to media, and when we go to add images, we can upload that image that we just screenshotted. Come down here to my screenshots and grab it. Let it load. There we go. It's going to let you crop. Boom. Recently reduced homes in Winston-Salem, right? That's a great ad right there. I can take you one step further. To be considered luxury in Winston-Salem and Greensboro and most surrounding areas here, if I come over to price, to be considered luxury, it would need to be a minimum of $700,000. So I can click done there. Recently reduced luxury homes in Winston-Salem. There's your ad. All I have to do is copy this link right here. It is automatically going to pull them back to this same search. So it's just going to search my website for Winston-Salem, recently reduced over $700,000. So that changes this picture and it changes this ad to being recently reduced luxury. And then under the Facebook settings, that follow-up URL would just be this website link right here, which is going to take them to a search for the properties that have been reduced. It's going to always stay live, right? So it says last 7 days. So it's going to live on for the duration of the ad. Any questions on that? Everybody good? Good deal. So some other ideas that you could run in the same way by using your ad. Houses with pools. Pools got really popular during COVID because it gave you something to do at home, right? So I can reset this price point, take off this price reduced filter, just click more and pool. Spring's coming. I'm getting excited. So I can just search for houses with pools. Looking for a home with a pool for this summer? Check out this list of Winston-Salem homes. Okay. Also, you could look up the average rental price in a specific area. And then if, say it was, I think around here, it's pretty high, but say that, your average rent was like, I don't know, $1,500. And for $1,500 with interest rates the way that they are right now, you could probably buy something between 200. I don't like that they did this in those price ranges, but I'm just giving you an example. Between 200 and 300 or 150 and 200, whichever. Then you could run an ad that says, why rent when you can buy? Average rentals in this area are $1,500 a month. And for $1,500 a month, you could own one of these homes. That is a great ad. You can run an ad around Keller Mortgage, right? If you haven't ever gone to your Keller Mortgage portal, you have one because you're a KW agent. And remember, they can only use Keller Mortgage if it's on a Keller Williams listing, or they are working with a Keller Williams buyer's agent. So you can run an ad for 0+ loans, right? I've already saved $11,199 for my clients, right? By giving them the Keller Mortgage app. So you can run the Keller Mortgage. You get your own website with Keller Mortgage. So this could be your follow-up link. And when they click through on their ad, on your ad to get pre-approved with Keller Mortgage, this is the follow-up page it would take them to. It's branded to you. Your agent is Monica Perry. They would click on what they want to do, buy a home or refinance, and the Keller Mortgage loan officer would know that you were the one that sent them that lead, so they would keep you in the loop. You get text messages and everything from them, right? And there are some cool Keller Mortgage graphics in your designs platform if you needed a picture. So this is a pretty cool idea for an ad as well. I've had several people that ran one for home values and had some success with that. Ryan from Greensboro ran one. And let me think of something else that somebody's told me about. I know that Debbie Overby in Winston-Salem, she runs ads for the home buying seminars that she holds. So she partners with a local lender and holds home buying seminars. What do you need to do to get started to buy a home? And she runs ads for that and gets quite a bit of traction there and really gets to amp up the number of people that come to those home buying seminars. So I don't want you to think that running ads has to be specific to just being able to advertise a specific listing. It absolutely does not. You could even run one for recently just listed homes. Here, you know, a handful of homes that just listed in the area. So that's a really cool idea as well. Investor specials, right? You like working with investors, pull out some investor specials, run the ad around that. Does anybody have any questions? You guys are a quiet bunch today.
It's all clear as mud.
Does anybody have any other ideas for stuff that we could run ads on? Through using our website or anything else? Right? Think about it. Go on your website and play around. See what you can find. What would be a good ad? I just cleared everything away. I'm going to reset this. Go on here and think about it. You know, the pool thing, the recently reduced thing, recently reduced luxury. Why rent when you can own? Those are all things that you can do straight from just using your website, right? Coming soon. That's another one. You can search for listings that are coming soon for sale. Can take off everything right here and just look for coming soons. In a specific map view, let me scroll out. Get myself recentered there. So there you go. There's your listings that are coming soon. Do you want to look through the images of these pictures before they're actually on the market? Click here, and when the listing's available, I'm happy to go and show it to you. Right? Homes are hard to get right now for buyers. They're aching for somebody that can help them walk the path to home ownership. So why let that be anybody but yourself? Put yourself out there, right? They want help. They want to find a house. What else, guys? Any other questions? If not, I'm going to give you back 10 minutes of your life. Did you guys find this helpful? Get some creative.
It's always helpful when I listen to you, Monica.
Oh, good. I'm happy to help you. Anybody else? Nobody's in the chat. I think everybody's just like having an afternoon cup of coffee or something.
I'm trying to recover from COVID. I got diagnosed last week.
Oh no, we got it too. We got breakthrough COVID. Me and both of my kids.
Did you?
I had actually just gotten my booster 1 week before, but they say it takes 2 weeks to be fully effective. My parents, same household, they had theirs for several weeks. They never got it. So
Well, so far my wife and daughter's been fine, but I'm on the downhill side of it. Just
okay.
I didn't have too bad of a case. So
Good.
fortunate on that.
Good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So if you're watching the recording, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys